Well, it sounds like the NFL is getting closer and closer to two hand touch football. Let's talk about it. And welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs channel. My name is Greg. I am your host. And this channel is dedicated to the Washington Commanders NFL football team and news and commentary for them. If you're down with that, please make sure you have subscribed and also make sure you hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. And as well, if you want to support this channel, please visit our partners here. We are partnering with Mint Mobile. They can save you a lot of money on your cell phone bill. Just check it out.
Have you ever thought to yourself, why in the is my wireless cell phone bill so high? What are you paying all of that money for? Well, at Mint Mobile, you can get all of those features for a fraction of the cost. They are built on the nation's largest 5G network, and they keep their costs low because they directly sell to you. Switching to Mint Mobile is so easy. It took me less than 15 minutes using Mint Mobile's eSIMs card. And if you don't have an eSIMs card with your cell phone, just get in touch with Mint Mobile and they'll send you a SIMs card through the mail absolutely free. Big Wireless wants you to think that they are the only game in town, but let's send them packing. Switch to Mint Mobile today. Go to our link down at the bottom in the description. Try mintmobile.com/maniacs to get started today. And get this special offer for new customers. Get any plan on Mint Mobile for $15 a month. That's right, $15 a month for any plan on Mint Mobile, but you gotta act now. Now let's get back into the podcast.
So the competition committee all voted, and this was passed unanimously. Am I getting better with my pronunciation? um, the hip drop tackle is now illegal in the NFL, which means you're going to see scores of 70 to 50 in the NFL because they keep taking more and more away, and I think from the defenses, but I mean, they are making it almost impossible for a defensive back, for a linebacker, well, probably more for a defensive back, honestly, to be able to make an open field tackle, especially when they're in a position where they're having to chase down a player to save a touchdown. The hip drop tackle, if I can kind of explain it, I don't really have a visual to show you, but if I can just wordly explain it to you, this is basically they're grabbing the player however they can, and basically they're kind of putting a lot of their weight at the hip to bring them down. About the best way I can really explain it. I guess maybe what they're doing is, instead of course, a horse collar tackle where they grab in the back of the shoulder pads and pull back, they're probably still grabbing high, but then they're kind of getting into the player, into his hip to pull him down that way. And they're saying that's also causing a lot of injuries, and so now that is going to be illegal, which means that it's really gotten almost impossible for a defensive back, unless that he keeps the wide receiver in front of him at all times and is able to make a clear tackle that way. It's going to be almost impossible for a defensive back trying to run in pursuit to catch up to the ball carrier to tackle him. The only thing that's left is to dive at his feet and hope you can make shoestring tackles. That's the only way, really, that I see a defensive back being able to make a good tackle, the one that's not going to get called for a flag. And I'm telling you, the NFL, I understand player safety. I really do. I get it. But at the same time, this is not good for the NFL. I think at some point, you've got to understand that the NFL is a dangerous sport. It's a contact sport, and it can sometimes be a very violent sport. And so you keep taking more of that out of the game. There's not going to be anything left but two hand touch. I mean, it's already that you barely touch the quarterback and it's a 15-yard personal foul call. I've seen some horrendous rough in the passer penalties called in the last couple of years. I go back to the call against I believe it was KJ Henry, if I'm not mistaken. This past year, I think I'm trying to remember who they were playing. It could have been the Patriots, but it was a clean. This is like a textbook sack, and he got called for roughing the passer, and he didn't. He said, well, he put his weight on top of the passer, and really, it was a horrible call. And I just think that I don't know how they could call this. I mean, you got to be able to get these guys down, and I just think that they're really the whole point that I think they're really going for with these rule changes is that they want to be able to see more points scored. They don't want to see that much defense. They want to see more offense because they feel like that's what sells the game. That's what makes the game very exciting. And I mean, maybe so. I don't know. Whenever you hear people talk about who's your favorite player, most of the time it's going to be a quarterback that they said that's my favorite player. You don't often say, oh, this defensive back or this linebacker is my favorite player. More times than not, it's going to be somebody on the offense. And the NFL knows this. So they're going after the defense, I feel like, to try to make things even harder on them. So the defense now, I mean, honestly, I don't know what more you can do. I don't know how, I don't know what techniques. I'll be interested to know what type of techniques that the defensive coaches are going to be able to call or teach their players to not have to compensate on a hip drop tackle and something else that's going to be able to work. I just feel like you're going to see a lot more broken tackles. You're probably going to see a lot more touchdowns because, well, it's getting to where you can't even tackle anymore. Folks, let me know in the comments what you think about this. I don't like this rule change at all. And again, I'm all for player safety, but at some point, you gotta say enough is enough, and you gotta just let them go out and play football. If you agree with me, if not, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Give me a like, give me a share, something to let me know, and to get this video out there. All of your help, I really appreciate it. With that said, I will see you in the next one. Take care.